Backpoke Nation, football's over with. Did you go to the spring practice?
I did. Yeah, I did.
And what did you think?
I think we're better. I mean, I think that, I think that we still.
Well, you're a lot bigger.
I mean, we are bigger. I think our defensive line.
Your defense is better.
Is a lot better.
Linebackers are better.
So, look, we had better talent, which is, in my opinion, was a huge issue.
Yes.
Last year was strictly talent. So I think that, bringing in and reshuffling the staff and changing the responsibilities, I think has paid dividends.
Yeah.
We're definitely better. I say it all the time. We're funded at the top of the league, and we need to compete for championships.
If you get a quarterback, you're going to be good.
And that's the biggest.
That's always the biggest thing.
100%. I mean, you can go to any level, right? Like the NFL,
you have
SEC,
to hit on that position.
And up to this point, you can make an argument that we haven't.
No.
So hopefully we can.
And not in a long time.
Right.
In a long time, in maybe 7-8 years.
I agree.
So it's not just a one and done or 2 years. It's been 7 or 8 years. We had a really outstanding talented quarterback. Okay, you went out and got Mike Pittman.
Yep.
As a new recruiting coordinator for women's basketball.
Yes.
That's now your second hire of recruiting.
Correct.
Essentially.
Yes.
Then both of them have staples in the area. Both of them can do some national things. Are you now seeing, is this the way of the future for everybody? Do you think that recruiting coordinators, separate from basketball and football, kind of their own individual things because of the portal? Or is it everything else?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think that if I'm going to be completely honest, I think the mistakes that I made as an athletic director are, like when I hired Coach Goff, I should have mandated, if you will, hey, we're a regional institution.
Yeah.
We have to recruit regionally. Like we have to own this area. Not saying we can't go to Dallas and go get a kid in California here and there, but we have to own this area.
You have to win your backyard.
That's right. And especially, because we don't have, and we're never going to have, a national recruiting budget, right? So running all over the world, we don't have the budget to do that. So we can do a better job of evaluating talent on I-10 because we can see them more because of just cost. So I just think that, now looking back, I'm have my hands a lot more involved in the recruiting within our department, where I think that we need to. Because, again, I believe that it all comes down, no matter if you're running a restaurant, an athletic department, a team, recruiting and retaining talent is the number one job.
Yeah, it is. And to that end, the key piece of this is you have to get people also to want to be a part of your program from within your area.
Absolutely.
And doing that, if you're not going to win championships, the other way to do that is with local kids.
For sure. I mean, look, I think, women's basketball is a prime example. I mean, Coach Kennedy and I love Coach Kennedy. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. But look, when you look at the league in women's basketball, for example, the Mar, Southeastern, et cetera, like it's from New Orleans to Houston, right? And we have to do a better job and kind of refocus our efforts in that area. And I think the new addition of Coach Pittman will really help us.
Okay, so you bring in one school last week.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bringing in another school? Is there close? I hear a lot of rumors about a lot of different schools, but you want to stay even numbers. Is there somebody close?
I don't know that for sure. I mean, I hear the same rumors. I think that. Look, I think that.
But you're now a league that people are looking at to come into, not leave.
Absolutely. I think that in the last couple years, the tide has shifted. With Chris at the helm, and I think that the decision that we made to stay ultimately was the right decision, and it's been proven. There's a new AD that's going to be at Stephen F. Austin. What do they decide to do? I don't know. Obviously, all the Texas, I don't think, and I said this to you before, I don't think a conference at this level can survive multiple time zones. It just doesn't work, and I truly believe that within 3 to 5 years, I think football will become football And I think, the basketballs will come back to the Pac-12. And I think, because again, flying your tennis team from Los Angeles to New Jersey makes no sense.
Well, that's the only thing that makes sense is football to be its own thing.
Agreed.
Now, does that trickle down to your division to where you become your own thing too? Is kind of my interesting thing, because you have teams that literally don't have the money to compete in football probably in your league.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the people who are going to try to, ultimately win a national championship in football, call it 60, 70 schools.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have their own, my opinion, I think that they're going to break off and do their own thing. And then all the other sports will filter back into, regionally. I mean, it only makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the world. And you have your big games, your basketball have big games outside and all that.
Absolutely.
For that, it's the only thing that makes sense.
Correct.
Speaking about making sense, Will Wade will join. After the break,
Your
Will
buddy
Wade will be with us. I can't wait.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Welcome back to Pope Nation. Coach Wade, welcome back, my friend.
Good to be back.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple busy couple weeks. Let's dive right into it, right? Winning the conference tournament, going to the NCAA tournament. Tell me your thoughts.
It was fun. It was just tremendous. The conference tournament. I thought the atmosphere, our home atmospheres have been great all year, but you could feel it when you walked out, just how ratcheted up the atmosphere was and how excited everybody was during the conference tournament. I was really pleased with how we played. I thought, we dominated both games. We led both games by double digits the entire second half. So we never put ourselves in real harm's way, which was nice, because when you put yourself in harm's way, other factors can become involved. But really proud of our guys. I thought they played really well throughout the tournament, and then I thought our fans responded. And so it was just a fun week. It was fun to cap off a great season by winning the conference. You almost feel like if we didn't win and go to the tournament, you left left a little meat on the bone. So that was fun. And then look, the build up to Selection Sunday was really cool. To have that many people at the selection show was tremendous. To have CBS, national, looking in on us at the selection show was really cool. And so, look, about the NCAA tournament, we had a good experience. Our guys had a fun time up until the game. We had a heck of a time. But look, we were just, we were outmanned and outmatched, and it was just one of those. I've said it all year. Everybody was talking about, well, what seed do you want? Well, what do you want? You want the best matchup. And,
100%.
I told you going in the 4 best matchups for us. And of the 4 best matchups, 3 of those 4 lost in a first-round game, and the other one barely won in a first-round game. And so, we just, sometimes it's a luck of the draw. We got the worst matchup for us on the 5 line and on the 6 line, really. We got the worst matchup we could have gotten. Some of the, so that was just, that's just part of it. And we'll hopefully learn from it and go back with a little bit more experience next year.
So, Coach, I think the thing that was for me is, obviously after the game, I saw, told you what an unbelievable year. I mean, 30-4, who would have ever thought, right? But you said something after the game like, we need to get better. And from the time that game ended, tell me what your mindset has been with you and your staff. And I think Polk Nation would be really, really interested to know, like, where the buzzer sounds, you did all the media, you're going back to the hotel. Where was your mindset?
My mindset at halftime was we need better. We got to get better. I knew. Look, it was a tough matchup for us.
Sure.
They're big. They're bigger than us at every position. But look, we were trying to enjoy the game as best we could. It was emotional in the locker room afterwards. Yep. That's maybe the only time I've cried after a season with the team. It was just those guys and everything they'd gone through and done for our school and our area meant a lot. And so, but look, when we got on the bus, not time to get sentimental. We got to get better. So, we knew the task at hand. We know the task at hand as we build the roster for next year. The number one thing is retaining the best players from this past year's team, which I think we're going to do at a very, very high clip. And then, we got to go add. We got to go add some guys. We don't need to add a ton. We don't have to go get, 10 new pieces like we did last year, but we need 4 or 5, good additions that can help. And, we need some that are what I call parts, the transmission, and
Absolutely.
you need some that are pieces. We need some tires and some different pieces to the car. So we've got to go find those right parts and right pieces in the transfer portal or in junior college or in high school for that matter, and then we'll build out the best team we can for next year from there.
The biggest thing obviously is size, and that's also the hardest thing to get is size. So how do you go about getting that and then competing with the big schools that also want it? Because if you got a 6'10", 6'11" guy, that guy's wanted in the portal.
Yeah, right now, the portal peaks about a week after the Final Four, so we've still got time yet for a lot of guys to go in. Right now is the time to find some undervalued commodities. Just in terms of there's so many names in there, it's hard for schools to sift through and find guys that are the right fits for them. And so, we're sifting through right now and trying to find those guys, and especially guys with size. We can fill in with some of the other pieces later on.
Yeah. I see a lot of guys that go on the portal and they say when they go on Twitter and that, these are all the schools that are interested in me. But I never see McNeese up there. So where are you on the quiet line? Because it seems like it's the same schools over and over that are getting out there. How quiet are you guys doing this?
We'll see. We'll see how quiet we're doing it. But, look, we try to fly under the radar and if people know you're out there, you're a lot easier target to take shots at. So we try to stay under the radar as best we can. And, but one thing we do that's a little bit different is I talk to our staff about this, I'd rather be a sniper than just have a shotgun out there spraying all over the place. And so we try to really, really target a select few, group of guys. We're not going to offer 50 kids in the portal. We're talking to, 8 to 10 kids right now in the portal, develop really, really good relationships with them. And we got to hit on about half of them. And so that's the way it works. And, if our hit rate doesn't work, then we're going to end up with a little bit lesser player than what we've targeted initially. But I feel good about what we've got, but we really try to zero in on select guys that fit us, that fit the personality of what we're looking for, that fit basketball-wise what we're looking for, and not try to cast a huge net where we waste a bunch of time and talk to a bunch of different folks that probably aren't all that interested in us anyway.
When we come back with Will Wade, we're going to talk about upcoming players that he likes as far as on his team and what kind of players he needs after this on Polk Nation.
At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
Back with Will Wade. Coach, you got this analytical stuff. It told us about Wells, told us about this stuff, and they all seem to pan out. So do you find it that when you go after somebody now, other people kind of pile on because you know what you're doing, or?
No, because my analytical stuff is built for our program and our style of play. So what works for us in the analytics probably doesn't work for other teams. There's certain, ours is built out based on the 10 things ranked 1 through 10 that I value the most. And so it's geared specifically towards our program, towards our style of play. So if we value somebody, it's because they fit really well with what we're doing. That doesn't mean that another program has the same values or has the same value attached to each stat that I have attached to it. And so there's, that's how we've gone about it. It's worked for us in the past. It worked for us at our previous stop. It worked for us here this past year. And now we're trying to take it to to the next level and continue to find really, really good players that way. But I don't think people are watching and going, oh, McNeese is on that guy. Let's go call him. I mean, I think everybody kind of does their own thing, and you gotta fish in your own fish in your own pond.
I don't know. I think there are people watching you.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. So you talked about in the last segment about you always said recruiting and retaining talent, and you've went on record that the most important recruits are the ones that are currently on a team. How do you feel about the Garcias, the DJs, obviously the Shoemates? How do you feel about those coming back?
Feel good. I mean, I feel real good. I don't want to take away from if they want to announce or whatever they want to do, but I feel good. Look, we're going to be able to keep the core of our. We got 7 or 8 guys that want to stay, so we're going to be able to keep the core of our group together. And
it's
I think
really big in today's world.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you got to. I was hoping to keep 3 or 4.
Right.
To keep all of them is so far is really, really good. And I think it's a credit to look. I mean, when you win, everybody enjoys winning. Everybody wants to be around winning. I probably underestimated how much winning a bunch of games would keep everybody maybe a little bit happier than they would normally be. But look, we've got good players. We don't have to reteach a bunch of stuff. They know what we do. Now we can hopefully do it at a little bit higher level, with those guys coming back and those guys being in a position to come back. And so, that's the most important part, is keeping the good ones you got, and then you got to add some other good ones to those guys. But they've got to fit within those personalities. Like we had a kid on campus this weekend, and DJ had lunch with him. Like DJ's input's important to me. All right, DJ, what'd you think? You don't really know the kid. See, we had a kid on campus, you didn't even know about it. Yeah. And what'd you think? Right. And so I want to get his opinion on that, because that's important moving forward.
Okay, so obviously, you've been here for a year, right? And whenever you got here, there's a, perception that you had. Talk about and explain to Polk Nation, what's the biggest thing things that surprised you about being the basketball coach at McNeese and living in Lake Charles?
But I'll tell you, the number one thing is we got the best people. Everywhere you go, man, the people are phenomenal, friendly, coming up to you, talking, and just really good folks. And that means a lot to our players. I mean, I tell the recruits all the time, like, you can't come here and be a jerk. Like, everybody's gonna know who you are. Everybody's gonna come up to you. You better be respectful. You better be appreciative. I think that paintball story that got out, I think shows the type of respect and the guys we had when they joined the kids' party, which I knew nothing about till my wife showed it to me. It was all over Facebook or whatever it was on. And so, you've got to have guys that want to be a part of the community, that value being a part of the community. We have a really strong community. Everybody's here because they want to be here. Nobody's forcing anybody to be here. Everybody's in Lake Charles because they chose Lake Charles. They chose to be here. Myself, my staff, my players, we all chose to be here. And so we've all got that in common. But the sense of community and the pride of the people has been really fun.
Were you surprised at all about, and Jim has talked about this, about just you've turned fans into basketball fans. You know what I mean? Like, were you surprised about, selling out the arena, the amount of people that came, like just the, I remember.
You told me when you were recruiting me, we were going to sell out every game. He told me every game's a sellout. Every game's a sellout.
He occasionally goes over.
He told me every game was a sellout. No, I mean, look, everybody likes a winner.
For sure.
Everybody enjoys a winner. Everybody likes a winner. And, to be able to bring that to these folks and to see everybody respond. Everybody says, what was your favorite memory? I tell you what, when we walked out on that court at Lamar, and those people were in blue all the way to the top of that arena to watch us, clench the. I mean, that was, awesome. I couldn't believe it. Like, I looked at our staff, I was like, holy moly! We had students there, we had fans all the way to the top. I said, this is wild. And so that was really cool. And just the way the fans have responded, and the home games are almost like an event now.
They are.
It's like on it's on the social calendar in Lake Charles, and so. Somehow he gets in. I don't know how,
it's the craziest thing.
What was that called for?
No,
I've been polite to you. I've been very polite to you tonight. In fact, I was going to ask you this question, to leave on this question. What did this year mean for you personally, to see people embrace you like this after the year you'd gone through and all, and everything's gone through? What did this year mean to you?
It was great. I mean, look, you always want to be somewhere where you can make an impact and where you can help people and give people a little bit of joy. And so that part's been just a blast for me to see everybody, excited, see everybody rally around the team. You don't want to be something that rallies a community, that rallies an area, and it's bigger than just the basketball. And I think this year it was way bigger than just the basketball for our team, for a lot of the fans. I mean, you look at the crowd we had in Salt Lake City. I mean, we sold out our allotment of tickets in Salt Lake City. Hardly ever does the does the small school. So I mean, we had just tremendous fan support all year, and it was fun, and hopefully something we can build on moving to next year.
Yeah, and I guess one other thing that's what everybody asked me. Is he still going to be here next year?
Yes. I told you that. I've answered that 100 times.
I know you have, but to answer to that,
yes.
I've told them yes. I've been saying yes for 3 months and no one believes me.
Well, maybe they'll believe you now.
Nobody ever believes me. Will Wade's been our guest on Poke Nation. Hopefully we won't see too much of him for a while. Please. Taking shots at me for no reason whatsoever. None. We'll be back with Coach's final thoughts after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Hey, Lake Charles, Russ Silver is your Eye on the Lake guy here at Legacy Center on McNeese campus, and you're watching CBS Lake Charles. Go Pokes.
Why does he have to take shots at me like that?
I think it's all out of love.
I wanted to ask you this because this is the interesting one that broke over the weekend. Clemson and Florida State possibly to the Big Ten as early as 2025.
Wow.
Now, those are two schools that are not, and I forget what the thing is, but are not aligned academically like the Big Ten. So we're starting to see some of the walls that the Big Ten put up break. How many conferences? Are you looking at two conferences? What do AD say to you?
I think everyone's trying to figure it out, but I do think that it's going to end up being, Well,
you mentioned in the first segment, yeah.
I just think that at some point in time, administrators need to sit down, NCAA presidents, et cetera, and make real rational decisions. I think that trying to have two super leagues is wrong. I think I said this in the first segment. I think having football do their own thing, and then everything else go back to regional and leagues where there's rivalries, et cetera.
Yeah.
I think that only makes sense. I think the pendulum will swing back that way because, look, at the end of the day, the NCAA is grasping for them to continue to be relevant. And the thing that makes them relevant is the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Right? So, people don't really realize this, but the NCAA doesn't make money on the BCS bowls.
No.
That's its own
Football,
separate entity.
that's its own bowl thing.
Yeah, so, they're not making money on it anyway. So I really see at some point, 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, that's going to happen. And because if you're the athletic director at UCLA and you have your Olympic sports flying 3 time zones to compete in a league game, at some point in time, there is a finite amount of money.
I cannot see money going for UCLA golf against Rutgers.
That's my point.
I would agree with that.
And at some point, you're going to lose your fan base's interest because of the time zones, the times of games being played, the UCLA Rutgers, as you just said. Like, I just don't see.
Well, there are games that make no sense.
100%.
And here's the thing for you guys. How does that trickle down? And how are you looking at increasing your revenue in case you lose those games? Because you're going to lose those games, I would imagine.
I think so. I think a lot of it, there's a lot of pressure right now on the TV package. What does that look like for not only for our league, but Conference USA, the Sun Belts, where does the TV contracts come in play? That's where I think that we have to do a really good job of negotiating the next TV contract, not thinking about where we are today, but thinking about where we want to be 5 and 10 years from now.
Well, you used to be on, or Southland used to be on Southland TV, and then they would sell the games locally.
Yep.
Does that make more sense, do you think, than ESPN Plus, or does ESPN Plus still make sense?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, Chris and I, we're going to meet at the Final Four about this. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense anymore or not. I think you have to, look, I love ESPN, I love the brand, but I think you have to be open to anything with linear TV, right? The streaming and linear TV. I just think, like people ask me, well, would you play a football game on a Wednesday night? If I can be on ESPN, you're dang right I would.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
And I know there's people out there saying, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Well, because it elevates the brand. And if you have a TV contract that you get rewarded for that, and it says, hey, we're going to be the game of the week and we're going to play on a Wednesday night, I'm all in.
Yeah, I think that's the big question mark is how do you do the rest of the schedule? But you guys, and I think basketball should do this, you have to kind of find your niche. You did that with Monday night. Mm-hmm. Is women's basketball going to Monday night?
We're going to talk about it in the spring, but I don't think we're going to this coming year. But you never know.
You never know with the Southland Conference.
It's true.
Grant. And you never know how many teams are going to be in it. I still think there's going to be more next year than there are going to be currently. That's just my take. We'll see you next week on Poke Nation.